Hi guys. I recently had the opportunity to interview a hacker about the upcoming anti-cheat changes coming to DBD. Now when I say hacker, I mean an actual hacker, someone who helps create and sell hacking software for Dead by Daylight. We also talked about a number of other things, including how severely the free Epic Store game release affected the game, the DDoSing issue, and he even gave me their full stream sniping document, which is something you guys have to see, especially if you're a content creator yourself. For context, this interview happened on January 6th, shortly after the PTB was released.
Question from Broken Bones. The issue of cheaters, can we get an acknowledgement?
Cheaters suck. Right? Cheaters suck. We all dislike cheaters. You guys all hate them. I hate cheaters.
How can you be so brave, Pat?
I know,
so brave.
right? Yeah, something so controversial yet so brave. But like, yeah, the thing is, the nature of cheats, hacking, right? That's where most of these cheats come from. That puts us in a bit of a bind as game developers. Anytime you talk about cheating or anti-cheating, you're providing information to the enemy. If you say you've prevented cheating in a certain way or around a certain mechanic, it's like a flare goes up. The cheating community responds by focusing on that specific thing, really looking at it hard and finding new ways to break the stuff that you've put in, finding new ways to cheat. It's an arms race, right?
So I asked him, have you seen an uptick in new cheaters or customers in the past few months? And he replied, yeah, I would say there has been a spike globally. There is currently at least 3 providers who offer some premium features and not just wall hacks and speed hacks. All of those providers have seen a lot of growth lately, including us, of course. Then we need to account all of the welfare sellers who only sell wall hacks and speed hacks. They usually use much more antiquated and simplicated methods to gain wall hacks or other huge advantages. Growth of those players has gone up as well. So yeah, in that way it would look like behavior has went down the drain with security updates. Yeah, I would say that, but I can also promise that some things need to be changed as the newest PTB comes into live servers. They mentioned fixed some specific vulnerabilities that could be abused by cheaters, and they sure did. That is all I can say regarding that case in this way at that point though. So obviously I wanted to push a little bit more on that because you have to realize this was only a few hours after the PTB had come out and they already were fully aware, or at least somewhat aware, of what behavior had put in the game to stop some type of specific cheating.
So please, please, please understand that when we are remaining silent about cheating, it's often happening in order to break this cycle, right? In general, we're constantly making small changes and tweaks and improvements under the hood to fight back on cheating. We just don't talk about it for all of those reasons.
Yeah, in this upcoming release, we have some changes going in to fix that as well, or fix a couple instances. The reason why we don't go into specifics in the patch notes is because, again, we don't want to, put a target on like, this is what we fixed, go break it again.
Interesting. So you're already aware of what the new measures are in the PTB. And he says, yeah, I know some things about it, but nothing which I could say publicly. As you see, he says he knows some things about it, so maybe not everything yet. Because obviously it is better for us the less behavior knows what we know, which is interesting because that's pretty much the same thing behavior said. It really is an arms race. So I can't go into detail too much in that field. So I wanted to push further. I understand, you can be vague, but would you say it was substantial in any way on behavior's part? Was it substantial from behavior? Probably yeah. Would it be substantial from any other game dev? Hell no, because it should be the normal. Dead by Daylight has had very critical security flaws like you've seen in the past. All of the cheating and the IP DDoS scandal on top of that. Yeah, there should be a substantial effort to fix those flaws under 24 hours after you hear the first report. How long have they been in the game? Probably years. Someone just started to use them maliciously just lately. The code has been the same, the vulnerabilities have been the same. That is the scary part. Even if they fix something now, I highly doubt they will do it after, especially after all of the hype goes down from VHS and other competitors. I think a lot of people in the community are afraid of that. Speaking of the IP DDoS scandal, was that only a vulnerability on the PTB, or is it actively an issue in the game? And for those who don't know what I'm referencing here, there was a DDoS and even a swatting issue on one of the previous PTBs when the artist first came out, where certain content creators were being targeted, and behavior was pretty silent on the issue. So that's what we're talking about here. And he replied, "What I've heard, it could have been a problem on the main branch as well. Hell, who knows if it still is. I've seen some pretty twisted shit during my 10+ year hacking career, and dedicated server leaking IP addresses like that is something completely unheard of. Do you know anyone who got personal or private information on content creators and saved it?" And he replied, "Nope." So at least there's some good news here. That's good to hear. Do you have any knowledge about the total monthly income that your website generates? We have almost 2,000 members in the Discord. All of the members have come during the last year. We have used €0 for advertising. So these 2,000 members are much more genuine and probable customers than 2,000 members which have been gathered with spam advertising. Anyways, I don't have permission or even an ability to calculate real earnings for you, but obviously good service in a good marketplace will produce a fair share of fruits. Let's just say that our website was the first one on the market to bring the craziest and most mental features. No other service could match that for over 8 months. Just now, some providers have catched up on us. So yeah, people who know what they are looking for come automatically to our website. Personally, I've met over 10 other hackers which used other providers and are now our customers. Do you know how many employees or admins are getting paid? Yes, I know the exact amount, but it goes more on the field of where business is business and some information can't be shared, unless you are inside the business. I hope you understand. If you have any other questions related to cheating or our website in general, I'm happy to help. Otherwise, I can't sadly help with questions going deeply inside our website's business since it's a private property. And I decided to move on from it, and I said that the hacker I talked with in the previous video told me that they had a stream sniping list that they kept on all of the content creators. And I had an opportunity to ask him if he is aware of this list. And to my surprise, he actually shared the list with me. He said, yeah, actually, the hacker that I had talked with previously created the list. The sniper itself is not sniper in actual terms, more of a queue filter. It basically automates the process of sniping the streamer, but it also does it a lot faster. You still have to have similar MMR in the same region, which you can conveniently switch with their hack. An instant queue for you, but for the victim, a slow queue. Then again, when you have 150 plus verified targets on the same region, those factors do not matter that much anymore. Also, a fun fact, streamers usually talk about how they get sniped, when in reality, most cheaters just spam queue until they get any streamer or use our unlocker and are happy with anyone. But there are definitely some stream snipers who are maliciously targeting very specific individuals over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys the full stream sniper list. Real quick though, I just want to point out my favorite thing about it. Look at what they say about Coconut RTS in here. Coconut RTS enjoys wasting 2 hours of his life through an ego battle. And if you don't know what they're referring to is Coconut usually will not DC when he gets held hostage and will just play another game and leave the game on in the background. So I think that's pretty funny. Alright, now just so you know, they have the Steam ID of nearly every content creator and even the IDs for their Smurf accounts. I've blocked all of that out so you can't see it. However, this list does have some very hurtful and offensive language in it that I've decided to leave in so you guys can see it because I do believe it's relevant. Some hackers are just trolls, and it's not healthy to dehumanize people over a video game in my opinion, but this does go further than just a game, and it shows that there are hackers or cheaters who do have very malicious minds, and I think it's important to show both sides of the coin. I also completely understand if you don't want to see it, so you can skip the rest of this chapter using the chapter feature if you'd like. After the previous video I made, did bans come faster whatsoever? And he said, yeah, there was one bigger ban wave, but nothing crucial. I think it took like 8 or 9 hours to fix it. Yeah, it was something like that, a couple of hours, and then it was back to the customers. So basically, they took under half a day to look at the fixes behavior had made, update it, and then re-release it back to their customers so that they can use it again. So then I asked about the infamous free Epic Store game release and how it affected the game. Like Trickster Shadow said recently, whoever saw that deal should be fired. This was just a ridiculously dumb move. Even if the deal was made months prior, it's still not a valid excuse in my opinion. Epic users can use your software too, right? Yeah, Epic Update just got booted out some time ago. Most of the users have stacked at least 5 to 10 free Epic accounts. Some hardcore members hoarded thousands with scripts and stuff. So basically, when they released the game during that free week on the Epic Game Store, some of these guys made thousands of accounts that they could then use to basically hack as much as they wanted to freely and not really have to worry about the consequences of getting banned. So the Epic Store release is going to severely affect the game for the foreseeable future, even possibly years into the future. So it was a massive mistake. Massive. He continued, yeah, I don't really know what they thought about the Epic stuff. It was obvious for every hacker in the DBD community that it would be stupid to do. It is already stupid how cheap all the accounts are. And yeah, it wasn't just stupid for the hacking community. I think the entire DBD community realized that that was a very short-sighted and dumb move. In the dev Q&A, they say that they don't want to tell cheaters, certain things because, then the cheaters will take advantage of that. But then they, on the same hand, they release the game for free on Epic Store for a week when people are cheating like crazy in the game, and then they're trying to talk kind of out both sides of their mouth. Also, behavior has been slacking a lot in terms of banning lately. I had my account for over 5 weeks. I played on it about 3 times a week and raged every session. Also, many other users have reported ban times being longer than usual, 2 weekish until they get banned. That could be the calm before the storm. Like I said, they did something, I guess, remarkable in behavior standards, so I guess they have been busy on that then. And I wasn't quite sure what he meant because of how he worded that, so I asked him, are the accounts banned permanently, and does raged mean that you were using super blatant hacks? And he said, yes, the accounts get banned permanently. There was a couple month period 6 months ago where you could play with banned accounts. It is patched now, or at least every method which I knew. And yeah, raging, meaning in this case, doing anything that is obvious with the naked eye. There you have over a month of hacking blatantly, probably getting recorded and reported multiple times and still not being banned. And that could be because behavior was, really working on this new anti-cheat measure, or it could have just been because Vivek didn't want to be bothered. But it's definitely not a good thing. Take a look at this tweet from January 11th that shows a hacker in a match where the killer had the DC, unfortunately. And if you'll see, the hacker's name is TTVDBDZeki, and he's obviously being quite abrasive here, saying the devs really care, record, I'm a hacker, devs, ban me, haha, good luck with that. And remember, this is actually tracked within the game, so the devs can see this endgame chat. And he replied, well, I will report you also with a clip. And then moving on to the tweet, he says, the sad part of it, he is right. I have reported I don't know how many hackers. Last one was 2 months ago and no action was ever taken. There's some evidence that is true. Behavior really has been slacking on banning people. So hopefully whatever this new anti-cheat is that's coming out, that the hackers are already somewhat, if not entirely aware of already, will do something to make up for it, hopefully. This is kind of a silly question, but what happens when a cheating killer and a cheating survivor play against each other? The cheating survivor always wins, except now we get a new little weapon for those situations. I can't reveal much, but if they do not instantly escape at the start of the match, they might die faster than they realize to press the instant escape keybind. So what he's kind of saying there is that there's going to be a new hack coming out that's going to be for killers, where they just immediately kill all the survivors basically in one way or another, similar to the pig hack that already exists. And he continued, but yeah, hacker versus hacker scene is dead, or should I say never born, since the survivor always wins. Most of the known cheat publishers have instant escape features, so whenever we meet another cheater, which we can recognize with our unlocker, they can just escape freely, or we can escape freely. Whoever is on the survivor side wins. What's your take on why behavior drags their feet when it comes to cheating? And he said, in my opinion, behavior has gone worse, especially after Chinese investors got their hands on behavior. By the way, this is too rarely spoken of. So he linked me an article that I will put in the description if you want to read it. NetEase Games announces strategic investment in Behavior Interactive. And now this article is from July 15th, 2019. NetEase Games, the online games division of NetEase Inc., one of China's leading internet and online gaming service providers, today announced that it has acquired a strategic minority stake in Behavior Interactive, Canada's largest independent video game developer. Following this investment, Montreal-based Behavior will continue to operate independently under the leadership of its president and executive producer, and NetEase Games will nominate a director to Behavior's board. Basically, Behavior still is operating independently, but they do have a member of this massive corporation on their board of directors now who does have some say in the game. So how much power he has, it's hard to say. It is a minority stake, so it doesn't mean that they have control, but you can form your own opinion on that. He continued, but in my opinion, 2019 and 2020 were the last good years, and after that a lot started to happen. A lot in the killer way, in the marketing way, and in every field Behavior operated. In my opinion, those investors forced Behavior to make decisions which have led us to the point where the situation is so atrocious with the cheaters, for example. Also, gameplay has gotten in a more dollar state than ever. Every killer is basically the same simple and effective package. This could attract maybe a wider audience since gameplay is dull and does not require huge effort to learn. But yeah, this is just rambling basically now why it could have mattered. Maybe it would not, and those investors are for good. I have nothing against Chinese investors, but I've seen so many good companies be turned into dollar factories instead of being game factories. And on that, I can agree. When game developers become more corporate, they do lose a lot of their passion and connection with their communities. This is a bit conspiratorial, of course. A lot of the time it seems like these issues just come from incompetent leaders, so it's hard to say for sure. You'll have to come to your own conclusions. I then asked him, did you see McLean scoff at Scott Yoon's idea for server-side checks? And he said no. Can you link it? Which I did.
Added additional measures to detect impossibilities done by cheating. While this is not foolproof, detect basic things like enhanced movement speed or having more than 4 perks. Unfortunately, it's nearly impossible to prevent all forms of cheating, but this is an ongoing process that we will not stop improving.
We fix cheaters.
I mean, there's pretty much no game that has no cheating. I just think it's too easy to cheat in this game, but it seems like they're implementing some countermeasures, which is good. But I do agree with them that at the end of the day, you can't stop cheating. It's like almost impossible. So I think that's a good start. We'll see what that if it actually works or not. But
why are they not able to stop DBD hacking? No game has been able to fully stop hacking. It turns out there are a lot of very smart people who are very good at circumventing the measures that are put in place to stop cheating. So it's a constant arms race.
It's an arms race
between the measures to stop cheating and the people who get around those measures and the people who create new measures. And it will never stop.
And he said, interesting. I think McLean laughed at the whole idea in general. Fix cheating. Like it would be a thing that you could just fix. He did not necessarily point out Scott to claim it would be impossible, but just be amused by the wording and meaning behind it. But to be fair, Scott never said fix cheating. He merely mentioned it, and McLean seemed to be very dismissive. The whole term fix cheating came from McLean, not Scott. So a bit of a red herring there. Getting into the final questions now, I asked him, do cheaters feel guilty at all for ruining the experience of others? And he said, this is an interesting question because it bases morally on human behavior overall. I guess some people feel guilty and some people feel that they are doing some kind of vigilante mission. Some people just want to mess with the software itself and appreciate the technology. Obviously, in this area of playing field, it's going to attract people who have some degree of malicious intentions as well. Every time man can cause harm to another man with any external thing, there will be people who will be ready to buy it. Some people maybe just want to escape from something, revenge or something, look for a community, etc. I guess you could see a lot of similarities on 4chan and such places where there is somehow similar laws in moral terms, similar communities in that way that everyone can be basically anything in life. Yes, there's a lot of normal people, a lot of people studying, a lot of people working, even older people. A lot of random people, all ages and whatnot. At the end of the day, though, everyone is connected to each other with little off-angled morality. That off-angled morality crosses the norms in some degree. Why are these people willing to cross the line? I guess there's a million answers and everyone has its own story. I feel like I just talked to the ghost baby at the end of Mass Effect, but I mean, pretty pretty well thought out answer to that question, to be fair. So this one's always interesting to me. I asked him, are you afraid of behavior filing a lawsuit against your website? And he says, it is not my website, nor am I in charge legally. Do the people behind our website fear? No. There is no reason to fear when everything is handled correctly and legally. In most countries, it is not a crime to produce and sell such software. There is no reason to be afraid if you don't evade your own country's tax laws. Now, it's interesting because literally the morning after we had this interview, I woke up, I saw this article from IGN. Right before PUBG went free to play, they sent a clear message with their mobile version. Members of a hacking group that created cheats for PUBG Mobile were ordered to pay $10 million in damages. So I really think what you're seeing here is the future of anti-cheat. You're never going to stop people. You're never going to stop them no matter what, right? We all know that. But there's nothing more deterring than making it actually illegal and going after people legally. Members of a hacking group creating cheats for PUBG Mobile have been ordered to pay $10 million in damages, with PUBG's developers say they'll reinvest it into anti-cheat technology. As detailed in a press release, federal courts in the US and Germany recently ruled in favor of PUBG Mobile publishers Tencent Games and Krafton in a lawsuit launched against members of a hacking group known for creating and distributing cheats within the game. As part of the ruling, the defendants have been ordered to pay the publishers around 10 million American dollars in damages. In addition, the group has also been ordered to provide details pertaining to how they were able to exploit the game in the first place and are under strict instructions to cease any future illegal activities involving game cheating. In a statement following the legal victory, Tencent Games, PUBG's mobile producer Rick Lee, spoke about the importance of the ruling within the game's online community. He said, millions of players worldwide enjoy PUBG Mobile and we will ensure a level playing field for everyone. Sadly, the actions of hacker groups undermine the fairness of the game. These judgments send a clear message that we will not tolerate cheating in PUBG Mobile. I'll also link this article in the description below. It has more to it, but as you can see, they're trying to send a message that this is illegal and you can be sued for doing it, which is fair because people cheating in games makes people stop playing games. So you're hurting that company financially as much as it's their fault in certain ways for not stopping the cheating. As everyone agrees, including hackers, you can't stop cheating. It's an endless battle. It's an endless battle of resources and time and money it takes away from actually making the game better because they have to focus resources on anti-cheat. So I think it's a fair thing to do. Really, I do. I'm also always curious of this question. What's your motivation for speaking with me? Because if you consider it basically is just detrimental mostly to the people that sell these hacks, because the more information we have, the more we can use it to sort of defend ourselves against them. And he said, I like your videos, and since you can't contact us, I decided to take the responsibility. For now, I can be your link to us. Any additional thoughts or messages for the DBD community? And he says, actually, for the community that fears about all the security flaws and sniping and whatnot, I would just advise you to move on as quickly as possible. When forced contact with a hacker, just don't give them any extra attention and move on with your game, life, and stream. The more you give the attention, the more the hacker usually wants to mess with you, since he sees you are vulnerable. This has been said by aughts as well. If it matters, it is the only thing that generally works. And by the way, also 99.99% of hackers do not or even cannot care about your IP. If you still fear though, a VPN helps on that, but it is not necessary. If it matters, I think swatting is generally an effed up thing and should be punished. Also, our website does not tolerate any actions regarding to IP tracking, targeting, or DDoSing or anything related to that. Our website focuses on producing pristine softwares, not causing harm to people around it. There you have it, guys. That's the full interview. If there's a question you'd like to ask in the future, leave it in the comments below or feel free to tweet it at me. I always find these interviews interesting and insightful. Hopefully you all do as well. If so, please leave a like. It helps the video spread. And as always, thanks for watching and have a good one.